Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. The connection between the stories of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage and the Big Bang Theory isn't as immediate due to Sheldon's absence from the Young Sheldon spinoff, but First Marriage effectively and indirectly proved the harshest criticism of Sheldon and his friends right. TBBT's influences on First Marriage are small, with Georgie appearing seldom in the nerd-centric TV show. Indeed, apart from establishing Georgie being divorced and having set up Dr. Tyre in TBBT's canon, the Big Bang Theory didn't drive the main themes of the Young Sheldon spinoff. However, one attitude towards Georgie makes his condition similar to Sheldon and his groups, thus making a massive difference between them obvious through Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1. Welcome to Movie Spy. Sheldon and his friends being underdogs was used to justify their poor behavior in the Big Bang Theory. Their casual misogyny was acknowledged but never challenged because of this. Sheldon, Leonard, Raj, and Howard's status as social outcasts is often the butt of the joke throughout the Big Bang Theory, and this is especially true in its initial seasons and in relation to their spending time with Penny, who instead fits the popular girl archetype. The awkwardness of their interactions at the beginning aimed to make them relatable. Their status as underdogs was nevertheless repeatedly used to justify their worst behaviors in TBBT. As one video by Pop Culture Detective Agency highlights, Big Bang Theory made a point to portray the group's worst remarks as problematic, but it never went as far as calling them out, instead only acknowledging their sexism or racism. If Sheldon's comments were the overtly sexist ones due to his tendency not to care if what he said was offensive, every single one of them behaved creepily in one way or the other. They didn't accept no at face value, instead trying to wear down potential romantic partners, with Leonard and Penny outright admitting that's why they got together. Every single one of their terrible behaviors was excused by their status as pariahs, turning how they acted into jokes not because the Big Bang Theory challenged their problematic nature, but because those behaviors came from characters whose archetypes clashed with the overtly sexist, hypermasculine ones. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage nevertheless proved there is another way to portray an underdog. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage proves what's a compelling underdog. Georgie and Connor are both often underestimated. While Georgie's success in the Big Bang Theory might undercut his underdog status, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage showed more than once how Georgie and his ideas or plans are often underestimated. This happens within the confines of the McAllister household and outside, as his attempts to get a loan in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1's ending proved. Georgie's age massively influences why his vision is underestimated. Any upgrade Georgie presented to Jim was initially dismissed, no matter if it involved new tires, new services, or how to update the store. Although Georgie was at the receiving end of multiple no's in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, he never turned snarky or belittling, unlike Sheldon and his friends. Instead, Georgie reacted to rebukes by positively trying to turn them around, still accepting them as no's if he weren't able to charm them. Georgie's determination is a key factor in his success, despite being mostly viewed as a young novice whose ideas couldn't possibly succeed. And yet First Marriage also proved he manages to convince others of his worth. Similarly, Connor is also viewed as an underdog in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage's grand scheme of things. Indeed, Jim and Audrey's preoccupation with Connor's future due to his quirkiness hints at their inability to see his best qualities. This is partially evident in how Mandy treats him, although she ended up being blown away by his home sounds composition. However, while others might underestimate Connor, fellow underdog Georgie fully believes in him and his music. No matter how his remarks might be perceived by others as odd, Connor openly breezes past them, focused on his interests and his conviction, never losing his positive outlook and never resorting to snide comments to prove his point. It's easier to root for First Marriage's Georgie and Connor than Sheldon's friends in the Big Bang Theory. Georgie and Connor are underdogs, but they don't behave reprehensibly. Connor and Georgie being open and eager, devoid of any snappiness, doesn't translate into an absence of obstacles. Indeed, there can be plenty of conflict in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, even in the context of the challenges they have to overcome, but the two never resort to hitting below the belt, making it extremely easy to root for them. This cannot be said about Sheldon and the original gang, whose abject behavior produces the opposite reaction, where it's much easier to support their victims instead of wanting to see them succeed, at least in the instances of their worst misogynistic or racist behavior. This harsh reality of the Big Bang Theory is undeniable after Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Thanks for watching.